Well, where do you go when you can't get in to see your doctor right away? We will compare some of the options you have. That's ahead on 8 News Now, the Valley's news leader. Well, welcome back. Scheduling an appointment with the primary care provider can sometimes be a headache, of course. So where do you go when you can't get a timely one? We have Jeremy Cox right here, the Vice President of Operations for Healthcare Partners Medical Group, here to help us with that question. First of all, good afternoon, Jeremy. Thanks for being here. We broke down all the baseball going on in the commercial break. Now let's get into this for our terrific viewers. Okay, so in the past, you would go maybe to the emergency room, but there's now other alternatives, things like urgent care centers. Walk us through some of those alternatives.
So urgent care centers have taken on much more popularity in the last 5-6 years for non-life-threatening injuries.
Sure.
People historically had gone to emergency rooms and access care. It's not an appropriate venue for a non-life-threatening emergency when care could be provided in a more local community setting. And we have urgent cares throughout the entire valley that provides access points.
How would you recommend a person makes that decision, where they're in a situation where they're kind of deciding, is this ER or can we just go to an urgent care? How do they make that decision?
You know, when in doubt, you should dial 911 and you should always access the emergency room for care. However, you know, colds, sniffles, coughs, general not feeling well, those are the things that the urgent care providers are highly trained for, and a lot of them are ER trained providers as well.
Like getting stitches and stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then the flu bug, of course, as you mentioned. So how do we make these services accessible to patients? What's the best way that's happening?
So awareness that they're out there. People still use the emergency rooms probably too much. So emergency cases, in point of fact, when the flu season, they go on divert at the hospitals. Those are cases that are just being clogged up that could be taken care of in urgent cares. They should access the website. And go to hcpnv.com. We'll give them, you know, guidance on an urgent care center near them. They're all over the valley.
We've all gotten the bill, be it from urgent care, ER. It's a bit shocking at times when you have an emergency situation. How does cost differ? Is there any research into that in terms of the treatment at an urgent care?
It's generally for non-life-threatening injuries much cheaper.
Okay.
It's actually a vehicle to bend the cost curve in healthcare. It's one of those access points. So paying for an ambulance to go to the ER to turn out to be a cough, congestion, cold.
Sure.
Has a high cost attached to it.
Probably appropriate. We're talking about this as we're heading into flu season. Thanks for your time. We appreciate you being with us on 8 News Now, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us.